Hello. Good morning. Good morning here anyway. Piping hot again. Shouldn't complain, but wow, I've got a sweat on, you know. We're just back from playing the usual down the field, and I've made myself a nice Slurpee. I'm going to untangle my wire. And roll a fag while we do this video. 2 videos really. Because I've got some work on today, so I need to get, well, I don't need to, but I'd like to get these done and dusted, and then we're on a bit of an even keel. Saying that, I've got a number of videos prior to this one coming up, so you won't see this until probably the last day of August, first day of September, in which time this will be up on my eBay. That will be up on my birthday on the 29th, along with this one. Okay, both on the 29th. So I need to roll a fag. Forgot to get my glasses. Hello. Okay. 3 people have asked this question, but I'm just going to go on the latest one that's asked, really. So it's Richard. Richard says, can I have your thoughts on life after death, and also your thoughts on reincarnation? Life after death, it simply means a stream of consciousness which continues. That's what life after death means. And it's up to you what you think and what you believe and what have you. I think everybody would believe their own thing. Personally, because you've asked my thoughts on it, so my thoughts are, as a Buddhist, I go down the Buddhist route. That I do believe in reincarnation. I don't necessarily believe that you come back as a human. Maybe you do. And you possibly would because of all your experiences in your previous life, but not necessarily. So you could come back as a little bird or something. It's called samsara, S-A-M-S-A-R-A, samsara in, yeah, that's the Buddhist term, which means cycle of life and death, samsara. So you have a life, then you die into another life, and then you die into another life, then you die into another life. That's samsara, that's the cycle. So yeah, I believe in reincarnation, probably to a degree, if I'm honest. You know, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? My dear old man, bless her, she used to say, when you're dead, you're dead. That's it, no more. When you're dead, you're dead. And I said, Mum, you're so wrong, you know. And I said, we're here to learn, maybe learn lessons, learn values of what life is, and perhaps take that on into the next way of being. Now, when you're dead, you're dead. I said, okay, as long as you know, as long as you're sure, you know. It's funny how people, you know, people say different things and think different things and what have you, and we're all entitled to our own opinions. So this video is a very, very short video, Richard, really. The honest answer is I don't know, but my personal thoughts are, yeah, I believe in reincarnation. Partly I believe in it because if not, then what is the point? What is the point? You know, we've got, whatever you want to call it, an essence, a source, a deep inner knowingness and understanding and being, or a soul, or an energy, if I didn't say energy, or whatever you want to call it. That's what we've got. And I believe that to continue and I believe it to continue again and again and again. The Buddhist way of looking at it, as I've just said about samsara means obviously the cycle of life and death, and you live in samsara, in other words going through life and death, life and death, life and death, until you reach nirvana. So you've got the samsara that bleeds into a nirvana eventually. Quite what happens after that, who knows, you know. There are such things as, you know, past life regressions, which apart from one, I think it's bollocks. There was a little boy, little tiny boy, must have been 4 or 5, and when he started to speak at about the age of 3, he said to his mum, could I go and see my other mummy one day? Would you take me to my other mummy? And she said, no, I am your mummy. And he said, no, my other mummy, the one who lives in, and he said where she lived, in the white cottage in so-and-so. And anyway, about 18 months went on, and they spoke to a doctor, and they said he keeps on about this stuff, and he said his name was Callum, I believe it was. You'd have to do your research on YouTube or whatever. I haven't seen it for years, so I'm just trying to think, you know. And they said, no, your name's not Callum, it's, and then whatever his now name is. And he said, no, when my name was Callum, with my old mummy and my old daddy, and Auntie Sheila, you know, and this place, and what his dad did for a living, and things like that. So they took him to a doctor, and they said, you know, lots of kids fantasize about lots of different things. Not very helpful. But they decided one day to actually drive there. And the little boy led them. He said, turn right here, Daddy, turn left, up the lane, and on the right-hand side is, you know, 2 cottages, and mine was the furthest one, and it's got an L-shaped garden, and there's a broken wall at the bottom, and they turned around the corner, sure enough, 2 cottages, there's an L-shaped garden in the second one, with a broken wall at the bottom. And they spoke to the people there, and I think the long and short of it is, there was a family with the surname that he said, and there was a dad or a mum, whichever one, I can't remember, but with the name that he said. So he knew a lot of stuff about that. How could he know that? How would he know that? You know, wonderful. The reason why I think it's all rubbish, apart from that one, but why I think it's rubbish, I mean, even just recently, my strange neighbour, who's long gone, thank God, you know, he was on about past life regression. He said, I've had many lives. And I said, oh, yeah. And I sat there on a Slurpee with him one day, and he said, I've had many lives. He said, do you know, I was the head general at the Battle of Agincourt. I said, oh, right. And then he said, and also I was Nelson's right-hand man in the Battle of Waterloo. And I was an emperor as well in China. And I said, oh, really? Like that. And he sort of looked at me and he said, what? And I said, sorry, I don't believe you. I said, it's funny, isn't it, that anybody that I've spoken to, which is maybe, it's only half a dozen, 10 at the tops, about past life regression, and they say, oh yeah, I was an emperor in the Ming dynasty in China, you know, I invented plutonium. You know, nobody says, do they, I was a washerwoman in China. You know, I was a bald-headed bloke having a fag, chatting to a camera. It's always this elaborate, wonderful lifestyle. You know, it's just stuff they've read out of a history book. It's just rubbish. I said that to him, it's just rubbish. And he said, well, you have to believe what you want to believe. And I said, well, I know that if I had a past life regression, I would have been a taxi driver in Slough in my last life. You know, I'd have worked in a shop. You know, maybe I was a gardener and I had bosses over me and things. To believe that you're the leader, one of the main generals in the Battle of Agincourt and stuff like that. And then something phenomenal after that, then something phenomenal after that. And what's he now? You know, a very overweight, unemployed man. That's it. With an odd way of being, who believes he's a wonderful person in the past. So why isn't he wonderful now, you know? So I don't really believe in past life regression, but I do believe in life after death. Yeah, I do believe in that. But only really to a degree. I don't know. I mean, if you think about ghosts as well, I mean, is that rubbish? Who knows? Because surely if you've moved on, after you've passed on, if you've moved on, in other words, if you've gone into another life, then surely you are not a ghost. Can you split yourself? Can you go on and be that life, that general in Agincourt, and still be a ghost that people can contact? And that's an odd thing, isn't it? Mediums. Is there somebody in the room beginning with S, P, G, D, E? Oh, Elizabeth, yeah. I've got your grandmum here. No, my grandmum sat beside me. Yeah, I meant your granddad. And she said, all right. He said, your granddad's got grey hair with glasses. Does that ring a bell? Pretty much. He's got... there's a nose on his face, you know. He used to go to work. Yeah. Okay, next. Is there an S in the room? I don't believe in mediums. I think it's terrible that they take people's money. Absolutely terrible. But, you know, a fool and his money is easily parted. That's what they say. So, you know, maybe there are ghosts and stuff, who knows? I mean, I saw something one night that I can't explain to this day, so who knows? It's hot today, but it's a little bit cooler. I can just feel it. 1 or 2 degrees makes all the difference. All the difference. Yeah, Richard, thank you very much. And for 2 others, sorry, I didn't get around to doing this one. I can't remember the 2 people, so I do apologise. But 3 people now have asked me about, is there life after death? I don't know. You've got to make up your own mind, haven't you, really? It's not even making up your own mind, really, because no matter what you think, what you believe, and what you read, you won't know until death. After. Who knows? No way known, is there? But, yeah, I believe that it would be totally pointless to have a life and not, you know, to have a life and do all these marvellous, amazing things and then cut, end. That's it. Thank you very much, Richard. And thank you to the 2 others. That's another one of my thoughts done. Cheers. Take care and be well. Ta-ra then.